Hello everybody, and welcome back to our part 3 episode of FTL Multiverse with the Basilisk. In the last episode, we traversed through 2 pirate sectors and we got a lot of stuff. And we also met some HEKTAR merchants who sold us some weapons and Uwu points. And since we collected 4, we could travel to the HEKTAR Mega Market in this episode, not the Geniocracy settlements. I know that's where we're going, but that's not where we're headed. So, we're going to proceed to the Shell sector and reroute. Jump to the HEKTAR Mega Market. Continue with the jump. Alright, the entries with this sector are bloated with product placements and corporate jargon. Alright, let's go. Even after closing your atlas, the torrent of advertisements doesn't stop. Just about every product imaginable is shilled to you in under a minute. You finally resort to muting the ship's radio so you can hear yourself think again. Greetings, valued customers! Welcome to HEKTAR Industries, trademarks, HEKTAR Mega Market, trademark. It's always wonderful to see new debtors in these parts. I've been here before. Did you just call us debtors? Oh, another one. You new arrivals always seem so surprised. Yes, I'm afraid you are in massive debt to HEKTAR Industries. Didn't you know that every Uwu point you collect comes with a fee of 625 scrap? Yes, sir. You now owe us a total of 2,500 scrap. Quite the predicament. Well, what do we do about it? Oh, that's quite simple. You pay it, or you stay here forever. Don't worry, if you do end up staying, HEKTAR Industries sells just about everything you need to live a painfully adequate life of a minimum wage worker. Good luck. Surely there's something we can do. The slug laughs. Yeah, sure. You can go track down Mr. Billy HEKTAR himself and ask for your debt to be cleared. Get real. Blast these assholes. This is criminal. If the Federation isn't aware about this, then you'll have to take matters into your own hands, starting with this ship. You catch chatter on the other ship mentioning something about a signal, requesting for ASB backup. Looks like we might have another hazard to worry about. Power up the defense drone then. Oh yeah, listen to this music. Alright, kill these guys. Let's take out their shields. Good. Oh, they actually hit our defense drone with their ion. Okay, here we go. Cloak the power surge. I mean the ASB, sorry, not power surge. Alright, hit this. Good. And board, now. Come on, die, you prick. Alright, you have defeated the HEKTAR guard. Without crew on board to stop you, you can investigate their cargo. You find a HEKTAR product to bring back to the ship and move on to scrap the hull. Nice. Salvage missions, survey the nearby area. Oddly enough, it appears a pair of boarding drones have been abandoned here in the abyss. You can break them down for parts easily, but if you scan them for the schematic, you might risk activating one. Scan them! You attempt scanning, but due to your distance, you're unable to get a read. You pull closer, but accidentally move a little too close, triggering the drones. Fortunately, you still recover the schematic, but now they're on board. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Toggle, battle drone. Set the drone... Oh, it's anti-person. Okay, never mind. Is it anti-person? Yeah, no. Set the more to defensive mode. Battle drone defense. Here we go. Alright, send in the crew back. Kill them. Come on. Yes. We got him. Let's fix that breach, and then we'll be on our way. Alright, let's upgrade our power. Now, we gotta beat the exit beacon in 12, so we got plenty of time. Let's go down here. Did you know I get a bonus for every ship I rob? Not from HEKTAR, but from money I get selling your garbage. Now give me your cargo. Yeah, no thanks, buddy. Take out their medbay and weapons. Good. Well, we didn't take out their medbay, but cloak this. We took a hit. It's fine. Alright then. We'll just have to hit him again. Come on. Boom, boom. Yes, good work. And dead. As you walk amongst the corpses of the slugs, you catch the final words of one last survivor. Bury me with my money. Unfortunately for him, you have other plans on what to do with it. Alright, let's refresh this mantis. Now, let's go... here. Stranger, welcome to my beacon. You jump thinking you've somehow found Sylvan yet again, but instead it seems this is just another HEKTAR employee, not the infamous traveling merchant. Why are you pretending to be Sylvan? Well, Sylvan is my hero. He's so cool and hot. Ayo. I wish I was that cool and hot. Pardon the oxymoron. Do you sell things too? The slug perks up. In fact, I do. He resumes his impersonation from before. Come on in, stranger, and take a look at my goods. Okay, what do you got for me? let's sell this fire module and this battle drone and buy some drone parts. Alright, that's it. Let's go. This distress beacon. Alright, a HEKTAR distress beacon is coming from this beacon. From the looks of it, it appears a crowd of slugs has gathered at a HEKTAR factory. Contact the factory owners. The factory owner appears to be a frustrated and middle-aged slug. In the background, hundreds of slug children toil away working the machines. Ugh, for years we've been running HEKTAR with those lizard freaks. But when I decide I want to start using children to run my facilities, now people freak out? Jeez, what is wrong with people? Wow, okay. Assist the protesters and liberate the children. You power up your weapons and attack the HEKTAR factory. A ship arrives to stop you. Double missiles is actually scary, so defense drone at the ready. Okay, send in the crew and shields. Good hits on our defense drone, by the way. Okay, we actually got him. The HEKTAR ship has been defeated. You scrap the remains. Contact the protesters. The protesters are jubilant that the children have been set free, and they offer you a reward. Thanks. What? How did that missile hit my weapons? What the heck? Okay, that's some bold nonsense. Yeah, we're gonna vent it out. Wow, that is ridiculous. How did they... Single missile, triple fire. That's crazy. It was probably a fire mod. That's how they probably did that. Come on, repair this thing already. Alright, next beacon. Let's go... maybe here? To this distress call? This distress call appears to originate from a ship, lost in the clouds. Please, help us! We are in debt to HEKTAR, but our chances of paying it off are hopeless. Is there anything you could spare us? Let's give them a small amount of scrap. And they upgraded our oxygen system by 1 as a thanks. Okay, well, that's great. Let's go here then. Oh, a plasma storm. What's this? The clouds here are thicker than usual, and a violent storm rages on. You wander aimlessly hoping to find something, and eventually come across a very small HEKTAR pod drifting nearby. Maybe only as large as 2 rooms. Your scans cannot penetrate its shell no matter what you do. Approach. You move closer to the pod and find it is protected by a metal door with a passcode. On the bottom, it is written simply, property of S.H. There's no possible way to break it open without jeopardizing the structural integrity, and the security system is so advanced you doubt you could break through before the rebel fleet arrived. Whoever built this clearly doesn't want people messing with their stuff. Curiously, a note seems to have been written underneath the passcode. It seems to move with you, always following your gaze. With a faint red and blue glimmer, it reads, password, XXSluggyBoy789. I'm gonna screenshot that in case I need it. You're welcome. Smiley face. Okay. You aren't sure who left this note or why it looks the way it does. I, for one, know who it is, but I'm not gonna spoil anything if we just so happen to make this. But it should allow you entry. Use the password to open the door. You punch the code into the keypad and the door buzzes a green light. Enter. The interior of the pod is decorated by all kinds of oddities. A messy bed with dark purple sheets conceals an array of stuffed animals, with obvious wear from years of friendship. Much of the decoration seems strangely childish, with a few outliers that seem to have been added after the fact. You aren't quite sure what this place is, but based on the surroundings it seems like it belongs to Sylvan. Okay. You walk around the room, looking for nothing in particular, until you find a compartment with a map in it, showing a star system unlike anything you've ever seen. All kinds of strange labels are scattered around, and a single sticky note carries coordinates which you mark on your own map. Nothing else here seems to be of any use to you, so you do one more once-over and close the door behind you. Added a quest marker to your map. How mysterious. Well, I do know what this quest is, so we need to plan accordingly. We have 0 missiles, which kind of sucks. I guess we'll get a defense scrambler, but I don't even know if that's gonna help. Honestly, I don't know, because that's... Well, the quest is up there. Let's go to this distress beacon. Alright, what do we got? This distress beacon has landed you somewhere unexpected. A lush terraformed paradise housing in its center, a vast ring-shaped building which is home to none other than HEKTAR headquarters. Strangely, the distress beacon is broadcasting only on a few specific frequencies, one of which is a more secretive Federation channel. Investigate. You land on the HQ landing pad, surprised to find no intervention from any kind of security. As you approach the building, however, you're stopped by a rather dangerous-looking security system which refuses you entry. Attempt to gain access? Ouch! 5 damage to the hull. Your attempt at entry is met by alarms, which activate security turrets that fire upon your ship. Fortunately, you're able to shut them down and gain access afterwards, but your ship has taken a beating. Looks like your attempt to enter was successful though. You carry on throughout the building, but it's clear things aren't too good here. Faint bloodstains decorate the walls, mostly the bright green sludge known to spill out of dead slugs. It's weeks old though, a foreboding omen of the state of what you might find deeper inside. At last, you come across an open office door. Stepping inside, you find a blue slug slumped over a desk, silently sobbing to himself. He perks up when he sees you, and his demeanor quickly changes between shock, terror, anger, and finally defeat. So, you finally come to kill me. I knew the deadline would arrive. Well, you have me now. I give up. Just kill me. Who are you, and who was trying to kill you? The slug seems to realize you aren't who he expected. Wait, you aren't Taurus? I'm saved! Saved! Haha! I am Billy HEKTAR, CEO of HEKTAR and great-grandchild to Carl HEKTAR, founder of HEKTAR Industries. I knew that signal would reach someone eventually. Unfortunately, I've been trapped in my office for months, forced to run this company like a crime ring rather than a business. You trapped yourself in your office? What? No, you dumbass. HEKTAR has always been the underdog. But when I inherited the company along with my brother, we hoped to make this company really shine. And then Zulfikar came along and completely monopolized the entire weapon industry. I tried to save the company, but my brother didn't appreciate my methods. So what if I enslaved a species of primitive lizards? But I don't see how that led to you being trapped in an office. I'm getting there, relax. After he left the company, okay, well, I kind of forced him out, but that's not the point. Things went downhill. I couldn't keep my investors paid, and one by one they left. Soon, only some grease stain named Tony Sr. and that bastard Vael was left. That handsome son of a bitch. That son of a bitch. Wait, do you mean the Vael? The leader of the Syndicate? The one in charge of all the mercenaries in the galaxy? Yeah, that one. Oh, and by the way, might be important to mention that by entering this facility, you've set off an alarm, and now he's probably going to send an assassin to come kill us both. Fair warning and all that. Get the hell out of here. As you're hurrying to the office, you stop to notice a second ship has landed next to yours. A massive stealth-like vessel, and next to it is a human dressed in a painted MFK uniform. A nice ship you got there, partner. Now hand over the slug and no one gets hurt. Who the hell are you? The man pauses as if he's contemplating how to respond. Name's Tars, one of Vale's enforcers. Folks like you call us the Angels of Death. Ain't that fitting? He turns his attention to Billy. Now, Billster, your time is up. Vale's tired of your malarkey. You ought to know by now, when you mess with men like him, you better keep your promises. He turns to you. Now, last time I'm gonna ask. Hand over the slug, and we can all walk away like nothing happened. Refuse! Ain't that sweet. I was hoping you'd refuse. You've got one sweet bounty on your skull, and I'd love to cash you in. Taurus smiles menacingly and dashes back to his ship, whose engines are already powered up. This is gonna be a rough one. Alright. Welcome on board, Billy. You can be our ship's pilot. Power up the weapons. Activate the defense drone. Here we go. Oh wait, defense drone, not battle drone. Okay, he sent some crew over. Attack. Oh, firebomb into my cloaking is actually terrible. Cloak this while we still can. They broke my cloaking. Hit their weapons. Boom, bam. We caused a fire too. Alright, here's another guy. Alright, let's hit their cloaking and their clone bay. Nice. Look at all those breaches. Oh, it's another fire. Alright, you're dead, buddy. We got him. Taurus' ship explodes, plummeting into the ground. You pilot closer and scrap the wreckage. Nice. With Billy now safe, you take one last trip past the wreckage. To your surprise, you dig out what appears to be a highly advanced weapon powered by bizarrely foreign yet similar tech. You aren't sure where it's from, but you'll take it. Billy also has a team come in to scan the ship and retrieve its blueprint, which will make a fine addition to your hangar. We got a Zenith laser. 4 damage, 1 shot. Billy seems to be making itself comfortable in his ship's lounge. I think now's as good as a time as any for old Billy to take a relaxing vacation from all this chaos and taxes. Say, stranger, where you headed? We're off to save all of reality from the interdimensional rebellion. Oh, wait, interdimensional heroes probably don't pay their taxes, do they? Haha, baby, no more taxes, here I come. Oh, and saving reality is cool too, I guess. One last thing, what about our debt? Right, yeah, I can take care of that. Fair is fair. You know, it might be a good idea to let everyone here go now. This will be a PR disaster if it ever got out. Yeah, you could say that again. Here's what I think. How many more jumps do we have before we hit this quest? 6? Let's hit this HEKTAR store and then go to the quest. Alright. A loud advertisement blasts over your stereo with an obese slug waving his arms in the air and begging you to come and shop. Seems like an unfortunate placement considering you're already here. Shop. What do you got? Hydra missiles. Okay. Zenith laser. Okay. I don't want pheromone disperse. Oh, man, we have a lot. There's a lot I want to do right now. So first, there's one very specific thing I need. Level 3 sensors and Aether Tech anomaly detector provides additional information about adjacent beacons. Okay. Allows the detection of space anomalies. You'll see what that is for in a minute. You'll see what that is for in a minute. You'll see what that is for in a minute. Anyways, let's see. I want a defense scrambler. Onboard tech. Let's get a defense scrambler for 110 scrap. Eesh, that's a lot. Okay. And we have enough for this Hydra missile, which is good. Thank you. We'll sell this Zenith laser, because I don't want it. We'll buy some drone parts. And, okay, what was this? Number of purchases remaining. Okay, that's annoying. There's a limit to how much stuff you can buy, which is actually atrocious. Is there anything else we may need? No, I don't think so. Let's get rid of this battle drone. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Hair up all the way. Max engines. Okay, we don't have hacking, which is a bit scary. I don't know how we're gonna handle this. Alright, let's go. Here we go. Not to the quest, but to this beacon. What do we got here? At first, this beacon seems rather unassuming, until you spot the massive spherical shipyard hovering above the ground. Upon further inspection, beneath it appears to be a rural village of some sort. Definitely not one of a spacefaring species, at least. The village below is bustling with what looks to be lizard creatures. You noticed these guys working aboard HEKTAR ships before, but with an educated guess, you could assume this is where they live. Very strange. But as you approach the shipyard, it becomes apparent there's more here than you first observed. An orange spectacled lizard with a suit and backwards tie is screaming into a megaphone, trying to calm down a crowd of irate lizards with picket signs and armed weapons. Speak to the manager. You land your ship nearby, unnoticed by the crowd. The lizard in charge turns to you, while you catch shouts of traitor and more offensive terms being hurled towards them. Yes, hello, I am Metyunt, the manager of this facility and caretaker of the lizard population workforce. Yes, that's the word. Metyunt pushes the glasses back up onto his face, unfazed while a flaming stone is thrown nearby and some lizard riders tear apart a HEKTAR ship in the background. You also notice a very large slug ship hovering above the crowd. It's not firing yet, but you suspect if the crowd pushes things too far, this is their plan to suppress it. Your, quote, workforce doesn't seem too happy. Oh my god, of course a wall of text. Metyunt seems slightly uncomfortable. Yes, I'm glad to see you are not in fact blind. These riots are common, but what can you do? They call me a traitor because I sold out my own species to a corporation. But look at it this way, it's paid labor, and they signed the contracts. We were living in squalor, but our Queen Chief Thek and her council thought it'd be wise to make some trade agreements with HEKTAR after we were approached by two slugs with a deal. I'm just the mediator, and we're better off with this path anyways. HEKTAR supplies our species with weapons and armaments, and we supply them with work. If we didn't arrange this, then soon enough we'd either be forced to migrate to some wasteland planet by a ministry contractor looking to build a new law school, or left for dead when the rebels come calling. Metyunt reaches for a bottle of eye drops and drips them into his eye, then ducks as some alien fruit comes whirling by. I'm doing my best to keep the working conditions fair and orderly, but they just can't see that. I need them to open their eye because if it weren't for me, HEKTAR would be a hell of a lot crueler. But that doesn't sound like you're helping your species. Well, I'm sorry if you don't agree, but as I may remind you, you're in debt to HEKTAR Corporation, so I'm not inclined to take advice from you. I suggest you leave. I have enough to handle at the present moment. Metyunt only barely finishes his sentence when an explosion sends you all flying forward as one of the riders accidentally sets off an explosive charge in one of the ships stored in the hangar. The HEKTAR officers watching spring into action, and Metyunt follows behind them, latching onto the one in charge and trying to stop him from giving the order to fire. The slugs grab the lizard by the tail and fling Metyunt away, then orders the vessel above to open fire on the crowd. The lizards scatter as lasers pelt from above. If you're going to get involved, now is the time to do so. Protect the crowd! You rush back to the ship as quick as possible and return to the hangar to fight the vessel. Good. Alright, they sent some boarders in. Power up the defense drone. Cloak this. And shoot those weapons. Good work. The missile is still online, unfortunately, though. Oh, more crew. Alright, good hits on the shields. Alright, no more teleporter for you, sir. Yeah, you're dead. Alright, get him. Dead. The HEKTAR ship has been defeated. Maybe you should feel guilty considering they were just employees following orders, but you don't feel any sympathy whatsoever. We got an amp laser. With the ship out of the way, you return to the shipyard. During the battle, the rioters seem to have taken control of a large portion of the hangar, but the remaining hangar staff are pushing back. This could end in even more bloodshed if you don't step in. Convince Metyat to talk them into standing down. You call out to Metyat, appealing to him to defuse the situation. He falters but calls out to HEKTAR, demanding they stand down. They refuse at first, but once Metyat threatens to get Billy involved, then they stand down. Once HEKTAR is cleared, the lizards swarm the rest of the place, and capture Metyat while cheering for your crew. All that seems to question now is the fate of Metyat. He deserves a second chance. The lizards groan, but they aren't going to question you after how much you helped them. Metyat seems shocked he hasn't been torn limb from limb yet. Well, why did you spare me? Second chances? My kind doesn't believe in those, but I guess I'm too far displaced from our traditions to care. It's obvious the lizards don't want Metyat around. You offer to drop him off somewhere else in the sector, but he declines. I'm afraid it is best if I find a different occupation. HEKTAR will have to make do without my help, because I'm done. I guess I'll stick with you now. Oh, and before we go, let me repay you. Instead of immediately stepping onto your ship, however, Metyat wiggles his arm awkwardly and mumbles some incoherent words. You stare at him while he stares back in silence. What was that? Oh, the open door song, I think. It's a lizard thing. Request for entry or whatever. Just say yes and let's get it over with. Yeah, come on. Get in. Alright, who's our shields guy? You are our shields guy, so we'll replace you with Metyat. You can go work the shields, Metyat. There you go. Now, okay, there's a reason why this quest beacon is a very similar purple color, but I don't know. What I don't know is if I'm going to be able to make it out of here alive is the question. Damn. Alright, let's go to one more beacon and then that quest. Uh-oh, ASB. God damn you! My boss was captain of that guard ship! Now who is supposed to pay me? The HEKTAR ship attacks. Oh, sorry, buddy. I didn't know. Okay, let's cloak this. Actually, I probably shouldn't have cloaked that. I probably should have cloaked the ASB, but whatever, it's fine. Hopefully we dodge it. Oh, no. Neither am I piloting. No chance we dodge it at 27%. Oh, wow! Okay, we actually did dodge it. Very good, very good. Alright, finish him. Dang it. One off lethal, man. One off lethal. Alright, come on, get him. You gather the remains of the reinforcements, though you can't stay long because of the ASB. Alright, we're waiting for our crew to come back, so let me just cloak. Alright, good miss. And I could really use an empty beacon right about now. Okay, ASB target locked. Let's... Okay, here, go. Alright, this beacon hosts a HEKTAR transport. It's safe to bet the crew is most likely carrying modular tech. If you kill its crew, the cargo will be yours. Demand the surrender of their goods. Alright. And they don't want to fight, they're trying to run. Where you running, buddy? Don't run. Come on, fight me. Fight me like the slugs that you are. Alright, took out one of their weapons. Piloting is destroyed. Alright. Send them in. Medbay damage. We'll cloak that. Good kill. Alright, we should be able to finish them off quickly here. And 1 and 2. Perfect. Aboard is the modular tech you expected, which you bring back to the ship. We got a cooldown module. Very nice. I suppose there's nowhere else to really go. We've hit all of these beacons. We gotta be here in 4. We can't even get all of our jumps in. Let's get one more dodge power. Let's get level 2 cloaking, level 2 piloting, and another power. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's go. The coordinates you found in Sylvan's secret room led to a seemingly unremarkable stretch of space. You detect a couple of anomalous signals, but your preliminary scans can't lock onto anything. Guess there was no point in coming here. As disappointing as it is, you can't discern any reason for having come here. Guess this was just a waste of time, or maybe there was something more you just couldn't find. But I had an anomaly detector. What? Okay, hold on. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Is it because I sold the Zenith laser? That's BS. Okay, well, this was supposed to be like a secret quest to a secret sector with a bunch of, I'll just say slug ships. But for whatever reason, our anomaly detector blue option didn't show up even though I installed it. So that was a complete waste. But hey, at least we prepared for something that never showed up. So at least that's good. Anyways, to the exit. Continue. You're stopped before you could leave by a massive HEKTAR vessel. Sorry, but you may not leave this sector. You still owe HEKTAR Industries a ton of money. Billy, have Billy clear you for leaving. Fortunately, it only takes a few minutes before Billy returns, and you're allowed to leave. Guess it pays to have the CEO of a major corporation on your ship? Well, thanks for the free stuff. Next sector. I don't know what it is. Let's see. Damn, I'm disappointed about that quest beacon. I feel like there was... That's so stupid. How does the anomaly detector disappear just because I sold the Zenith laser? It seems like we're in the Confederate core worlds. The core worlds of the Confederacy are the stronghold of their industrial complex, and also the home of their premier and their representative legislators for component states. This sector is likely to have the most nationalist groups of the Confederacy, but fortunately such groups will be less sympathetic to the coalition as others. You have found yourselves in the heart of the Vampweed Confederacy, the origin of the Orchids. Massive freighters and scores of ships come in and out of this sector every single day. The Orchids are especially populous in this sector, but deep in the Confederate territory, the pride of the Vampweeds runs deeper than anywhere else. This beacon is guarded by a powerful elite Confederacy ship, extracting a toll from ships wishing to enter the bustling trading hub. The Confederate Guard blocks your path. While the beacon's appearance has the look of a standard kiosk meant to screen a passerby with a toll, this one seems to be taking a more aggressive approach. Stop right there, multiversal traveler. Before you're allowed to enter, you're going to have to pay our toll and give us a full explanation of why you've come here. Cloaking. Cloak and try to escape. You successfully managed to slip past the guard without being noticed. Notoriety increased for the Confederacy, though. Alright, let's go to this Vampweed store. No, well, let's not go to the Vampweed store. Let's go onboard tech and install... Let's install an arm, drone recovery arm. Alright, combat and defense drones will be retrieved on jump if not destroyed. Yes, please, thank you. 7 scrap is not enough to buy anything at a store, so let's just keep going. Alright, it ain't easy finding work nowadays. The moral fiber of the galactic workforce has decayed. People don't want to work anymore. They don't show up. They're constantly demanding better pay while their productivity diminishes. It's a real pandemic, wouldn't you agree? The slaver stares at you, waiting for your response. No, not really. Before you could even finish your sentence, the slaver cuts you off. And that is why I'm excited to announce our brand new Loyal Workers program, paid and provided for by Tikaka. The slaver flashes a grin and has his crew step out to peddle various, quote, workers. Attack the slaver. Slavers are the scum of the galaxy. You'll be doing great justice by wiping this one out. Alright, he sent 1 mantis into our shields. Light work, but there is more crew on the way. Oh no, they hit our doors. We'll cloak this. You know what? Let's go to the shields. Send them in anyways. But oh crap. They're gonna actually board us. No, damn it. Okay. I should have waited until our boarding crew was done. Alright, well let's take out their weapons. Oh, they locked us down. Okay, but they're out. Take out their teleporter plus clone bay. We surrender! Take one of our slaves as tribute. If you destroy us, they'll all die anyway. Surrender's not an option. We're gonna crew kill these guys. Alright, send more crew in, please. Alright, we got them. You find a number of slaves in the cargo hold. They look at you questioningly, and one asks if they're to be released. You could use more crew, but it won't reflect positively on you for taking slaves like this. We aren't slavers. Free them all. We have a full crew anyways. The slaves are shocked when instead of shuffling them away, you unlock their chains and set them free. Several of them break into tears and others bow down to you. We thank you. We have nothing worth to offer but our gratitude. Alright, a notoriety decrease for general. Still gotta refresh our crew though, which sucks. Alright, crew refreshed. Let's go. This distress beacon. The distress beacon here is coming from a Confederate government building, which seems to have been taken hostage by a band of Vampweed radicals. An aging Vampweed carrying a rather large gun paces back and forth, spouting delusional ramblings about the Federation Mantis War, and how Premier Ivar has betrayed them all. From the sounds of it, it almost seems like he thinks the war is still going on. Let's see. Hive Mantis crew, send in your Mantis as a fellow soldier. Your Mantis cautiously approaches the Vampweed, pretending to believe the same delusions of the war. The Vampweed buys it immediately, and to your surprise offers to go with you. You're unsure about it, but your crew assures you his delusions are so deep he won't be of any concern. Well, we already have a full crew. Get out. That was a waste. Net gain of nothing from that. Let's try this distress beacon. You're a bit surprised to find a Federation vessel nearby, the source of this distress beacon. They hail you almost immediately. Good, a friendly face. We ran out of fuel on the way through this sector, and we're terrified of what will happen if a coalition or hostile Confederate fleet passes through. Could you spare any fuel? Yeah, let's give them 8 fuel for 32 scrap. Alright, perfect. Now let's go... How many jumps? 9? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh wow, we could hit all of these. Yeah. Looks like a rebel ship is here waiting for you. You can't quite make out what the ship is though at first. I still haven't forgotten our showdown at Prospect 17. Real smooth use of that industrial mining beam. You might have amputated my left index finger, but now I'm going to amputate your face, Bayach. Oh, hello. Here we go again, Leia the Beam Master. Let's swap this fly, shall we? Alright, dead. Leia puts up her middle finger in a display of contempt and warps away. You aren't sure where she warps away to, but apparently they don't mind taking her back. Yeah. Well, let's go here. A mantis crew here was hunkered down in the abdomen of a long dead space whale. The only way, presumably, for them to operate their black market trade without detection. With a look, approach the corpse. Your approach is met by a curious mantis ship with distinct spikes of power in their weapon system. Federation come to shut down? Refusal! Hive mantis crew, we wish to shop here. Okay, now, what do we got? Fuel and a lot of stuff to sell. Like this Hydra missiles, cooldown mod, and amputation laser. Now... Alright, next beacon. This beacon hosts a Confederate transport. It's safe to bet the ship is most likely carrying some special tech. If you kill its crew, the cargo will be yours. Demand to surrender their goods! Alright, notoriety increase, let's go. They're trying to escape? Sorry buddy, nowhere to run for you. Alright, they boarded us in here. Cloak that bomb. They're piloting and sending the crew. Oh, they are taking a beating though. Look at this. Oh, but we actually got him. Nice, nice. The crew is dead, leaving you with the ship. Its cargo is yours for the taking. Aboard is the special tech you expected, which you bring back to your ship. We got an elite chain spore launcher, which what does this do? So, takes 2 power, 60 seconds, uses a missile, 50% ammo replication chance. Chain effect, decreased cooldown by 4. Let's see, total system damage 1, shots per charge 2. Wow. So it's just an overpowered, spammy missile thing. I don't like really using missiles that much anymore because they cost ammo. The only reason why I bought missiles earlier was because of that quest, which I'm not going to spoil. If you want to know what that quest is with that portal entry thingy, you'll have to see in another episode. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I'll do something with that quest. Anyways, distress beacon. Two entry aboard the nearby vessel appear to be debating each other. You are reading the map wrong. The floral sector is here. This is Confederate space. I lack understanding. I was informed that orchids welcome all peaceful refugees. Are Confederates not orchids? After a few moments, the two entry realize you're listening and panic. You heard nothing. Any suggestions this vessel is no longer in service of the Harmony equals complete nonsense and is to be disregarded immediately. You both sound like separatists. Are you lost? The two entry whisper to each other before deciding you won't be a threat to them. We were sent by the Harmony to calibrate a haywire Federation defense system in the adjacent sector. However, once we became disconnected from the Harmony, we decided we do not wish to return. The other NG nods. We were told that refuge for all life forms could be found in Orchid territory, on our way there. We got lost. This I do not believe is the correct sector. Maybe you could assist? Advanced sensors. Offer directions to the nearest gathering sector. Both NG are very thankful for your assistance and pay you handsomely. Thank you. Because of your efforts, there's a chance we will avoid recycling. Stay safe. Alright, next weekend. They gave us a defense drone, by the way. A Shell research station hails you. So, you're a renegade, right? I've heard the likes of you tend to collect a menagerie of varied species aboard your ships. I'm part of the Cultivator project, helping develop and harvest the spores used to manufacture both spore launchers and Shell neurotoxin systems. Would you mind if I injected some of your crew with poisonous spores to see what happens? If you have anything really exotic, I'll pay you extra. Sure, we got clone bait. Let's submit one of our crew to testing for 49 scrap and a shield check. Having drawn straws as per tradition, one of your crew reluctantly heads off to the lab to have God knows what injected into their bloodstream for the sake of science. The Shells seem confident in their experiments, but you can't say you have the same certainty. A little while later, you hear back from the Shell, who is clearly disappointed and upset. It didn't work. Nothing happened at all. The concentration must be wrong. Despite the Shell's disappointment, you're just glad to have your crew back alive and well. Alright, let's go here. The dark blue hull of a rebel vessel straight out of Universe 1 is orbiting the area, patrolling for ships. In the background, it seems a vampweed colony has just recently been torched to the ground. The captain catches sight of your vessel and immediately sends a hail. My, what do we have here? My lucky day once again. Well, every day is lucky when you stand with the rebellion. Admiring my handiwork? The rebel moves his hand in the general direction of the burning colony. Thing is, I was sent on an express mission by Van 1 to harass Federation allies in this reality. Put the fear of humanity in them. Thing is, there's really not much of a difference between the weeds, is there? Both are just pests you have to pluck from the garden, so the bigger, stronger species can survive. Beneath the smug sneer, you sense a bit of regret, desperately being hidden beneath the blanket of false bravado. The Confederation is halfway between the Feds and the Coalition anyways. No matter what they choose, they're more of a problem than the Florals. This is unjustified slaughter. Humph, as if you're the moral authority on what's justified. You think the Federation's hands are any clearer than ours? We're in total war, anything goes, as long as it gets you to the end. You are a butcher for a bureaucracy built on the reluctant shoulder of tyrants, and I'm an agent for the glory of mankind. For Universe 1. Alright, buddy. Shield Jammer. Jam the enemy shields for 2 reactor power and 1 fuel. Sending the crew into shields. Alright, nice. Nice kills. Let's take out Clone Bay. Good hits. And they should be dead. Got him. The MV Rebel has been defeated, and it seems to your luck an augment was left behind in the wreckage. Maybe it'll make a good addition to your arsenal. We got a deconstructor. What is that? A special component that allows you to disassemble missiles or drone parts into scrap at a greatly reduced yield. No thanks, I don't want that. We'll sell it if we get the chance. Now, 3 jumps before the exit, but there's only 2, so we don't unfortunately get all of our jumps in, but it's fine. We'll go here. You've arrived at a seemingly ordinary beacon, but scans show a slip tunnel opening. Someone with an MV drive is jumping in nearby. Before you have even time to react, a foreign vessel comes barreling towards you. You've never seen or heard of a ship like this, but you don't have time to question it. Get ready for a fight. And they mind control our Mantis and temporal manipulate and sped up time in our teleporter, which is pretty bad. Oh, here they boarded us with a siren and a human. Yes, guys, these guys are called sirens. Cloak this. And hit their weapons on temporal manipulator. Got them. They broke our teleport. And they killed my Mantis. Let's hit their teleporter plus, Clone Bay plus mind control. Whatever these aliens are, looks like they aren't above traditional cowardice. Scans show their FTL drive has been powered up and they're not trying to escape. Yeah, they're not going anywhere. Sorry, buddy. Or maybe they are, because they have a temporal manipulator to speed up stuff. You know what? Just kill him. Just kill him. The mysterious vessel is destroyed. You scrap its smooth white hull while the rainbow lights continue to flicker in and out of life. Let's refresh our crew and put this fire out. Alright, crew refreshed. Exit time. Let's go. Alrighty. You've arrived at the long-range beacon. When the FTL drive is charged, you can jump to the next sector. Explore. Your ship is flooded with advertisement transmissions from nearby merchants as soon as you arrive at the beacon. You arbitrarily pick one to examine in detail. 1 drone part for 5 fuel? Yes, please. Alright, next sector. Elestrian Oasis. Alright. Well, that's going to be it for this episode of FTL Multiverse with the Basilisk. I hope you enjoyed so far. I'm rather disappointed about that quest. That quest is very special, and it is tied to some very overpowered unlocks and very, very overpowered, I will say, slug ships. And we had the anomaly detector. I could swear I installed it. I know I did, but I guess the game's just trying to gaslight me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I sold the Zenith laser. That's my only guess. Because Zenith laser counts as Aether Tech. I installed Aether Tech, got the anomaly detector, and then I sold it for more scrap and preparations for whatever was at that quest beacon, which I just so happen to know, but I don't want to spoil it for you guys. It just so happens that apparently selling the Zenith laser takes away the anomaly detector, which is absolute baloney. But whatever, it's fine. We have a lot of scrap, we upgraded our weapons, and we have a pretty decent boarding crew, so you know what? I'm happy. At least right now I am. But yeah, like I said, if you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode. See ya!